Hi everyone. So we're gonna do part two of the Rosetta Stone, and we're gonna see exactly where this stone wants us to go and what it wants us to say. It does say immediately it was Egypt. I came from Egypt. And when you look at Egypt, it goes so hard on this, you just can't understand at all, at all. So when I'm looking at this stone at a quick scry out, it is just you can't even understand this stone when you're looking at this script. So when you look at this stone, and it happens to be when we were talking about moving past it, and it's like this energy field, and people actually feel weak and they feel sick and something comes about it after that they have to limit hours and days of the week to months and seasons to daylight, that is almost like a night at the museum some nights for them. You just like I just don't understand why it happens. It is a phenomena of like a type of energy of physics that I'm seeing that is hard on the body. It's also hard on the mind and the soul. There's something about the stone, like I said, it's living. It's a living matter all through it. And you're not meant to know the actual translation of that stone. But as I was saying, it was coming from Egypt and it came here as a gift. And when it came here as a gift, it was meant to solidify the United States Constitution for a set in stone. And so there was something about the Revolutionary War to the Civil War, to all wars, where this stone was so pertinent and the correct meaning of pertinent that it would actually protect the United States. So we did something that actually did the world well when it came to the wars, when we made a huge move. So when I see it, there was something still not well manifested in this whole story of the stone. And a great struggle beyond, because the Seven of Wands, it truly means of a go about of a struggle. That the Page of Cups in reverse means it was ill emotions. And the King of Pentacles does signify greed. And we explain that taxation without representation meant there was such this witchy phenomena of caricatures that someone could come in and say, I'm George so and so, and it's a female. And they're like, "Are you transgender?" And they're like, "No, I act for them and upon them and do it all." And they would like do this whole act and scene, and it becomes so criminal and hostile like that I'm seeing as a psychic. You couldn't make this story up at all. So then that's the whole idea of stolen identity too, because someone would come in and say, I didn't deem it. So that was the difficulty. So there's something about the stone of a clearing out it's showing me too. I clear you out. I separate things that need to be separate. I also am like a jack in a box. I create endings and new beginnings. I propel forward. I literally make you aware. It's such an awareness to a balance of everything. So it's really not for the faint of heart. If you're going to go and visit it, you got to be strong as much as you can and be prepared. It is a type of source of an alignment, and it's good source. It has a mystery about it with this high priestess. And also the Three of Cups. it means it really has this like bringing of a together of a, like a type of celebration. And when I'm seeing celebration, you see that it's like your energy changes for the good. But also, when I'm seeing if you do have criminal intent, it can be harsh and hasty and nasty on you. And this Five of Wands in reverse means it's meant to relieve that struggle, but it can make it worse. So when it comes to the Empress energy, it has a positive energy with it, but it's really hard to explain. Like I have said in my other videos, that there's a difference between star energy, moon energy, female and masculine energy when the universe stirs things up. And this stone loves to stir up female energy. It's a type of like positive ion with a three on, re-on bow, as someone who does like a physics and astronomy. So Eight of Wands goes, all of a sudden people start communicating after, even whoever who they are after they visit it. And the Eight of Pentacles in reverse states that it is like a juxtapose. And when you look at a juxtapose, it means you can go north, you can go south, but you can't go east or west. So it's just either you go straight up or you go straight down. It's almost deeming. It's kind of scary. So the Seven of Cups says, you just can't even do this at all. And I say, yeah, I can. And these people are like, yeah, I actually can. I actually can. And they seem to almost get in trouble. So then it almost gets suppressed. And then karma is released to whoever suppressed them. So this when you see the Seven of Cups, it goes, no, no, everything that I'm saying is legal, lawful, and pertinent to what everyone needs to know. You can't suppress. So then this karma has a loss of intuition, instinct, and up to psychic abilities. It is nasty to a type of like obscurity where you're not knowing what's going to come towards you. The Eight of Swords, it's like the sword and the stone with King Arthur. It literally just puts it right down. The Knight of Cups, let me tell you, like when it comes towards you with a good reward, it comes in with a rush of emotions that you can't control. You just cry, cry because you're so happy and you can't believe that it actually was true. Now, when it comes to like anything like illegal or ill contracts or any type of entity that we work alongside each other for, you can't even believe what it will actually do. It will actually like almost rip a paper. It's hard to explain. So I'm seeing like a request and a little bit of mediumship and a little bit of energy of what makes it like that. What was the source that we're allowed to know? So I see the source of this as I'm looking through. I see the numbers 8, 9 and a 2, 8, 5, and that means something in Egypt. I see something that means that the falcon is pronounced. I see that the stone is so old that they can't really identify how this stone is. It's not a granite. It's not anything of a soft stone either. It is soft but hard. It's just telling me that friends created it. Friends created this. It won't really let me go past. It won't let me go past. The Five of Cups, though, does say The source of it was really good. It's unbeknownst. It's not to be known right now where this source came from. It is highly protected by the heavenlies. It is highly protected by all, by all. This five of cups, though, this stone goes, this five of cups means your alleviation from your struggles is not to be known to you. It's meant to reward and it's meant to do a lot of things to those who can tolerate even it's like just slight energy, slight energy. It will really amp you up. It's meant to alleviate in such a good way. The Six of Wands says it knows that there is just no victory, but it brings balance. It really brings balance. The foresight was not there, and it's saying that when people encounter it, they don't have a lot of foresight. So when I'm seeing it, it's not so much right here where our foresight comes from. It has to do with the acuity of vision that we can't see into the future, even by intuition. And intuition is body usually, it's not mind. That mind is all psychic, neurological. Now, when it says this, it has like a type of a selling that it recognizes a selling of oneself. And the Four of Swords says it's just at rest. It's just at rest, this type of selling of a self. So let's do the gold. It's calling upon the gold tarot. The stone is very drawn to silver. It's drawn to jasper, and it's drawn to a gate. It's almost like tread weary, leery, weary. Uh, you can't even make it up. You can't even make it up. Now, with a Ten of Pentacles, it has a lot of security with it, more ways than one. So when you're like, well, it's at a museum down in DC, you got to have a lot of security. That's normal. That's all of it down there. And then when you look at it and goes, this is really grounded. This is really grounded. And then you also say, I swear to God, I didn't do anything. I didn't do it. And it broke up partnerships. Sometimes it's also saying like I force you to break up things, whether you like it or not, so you can literally move on, even if it's just on an even, like breaking even. Sometimes the stone doesn't like rock bottom of alchemy. It does not like that. It likes to propel forward, even though you're not in the best of situations. As far as dishonor goes, it will recognize dishonor, but it has this feeling of like it holds on to male energy. And then it really gets nasty when they do one word or one move. Uh, it, it, it it's almost a stalemate when it comes to male energy with us. It has a lot of good offerings. It has a lot of good things, but so much destabilization. So when I'm looking at it, it's giving me a glimpse of the translation. it really has a lot to do with constitutional law and what our foundation is. And it basically is stating in a paraphrase that all rights will be honored, all law will be honored, everything, almost like a Ten Commandments, but it's not. So I'm just asking the energy, what else are we allowed to know about this stone? Because it is still highly, highly concealed. Is let me see animals. I hear there, yes, justice and law and things have been adhered to for a very long time per se, but you're allowed to give a parlay. They'll almost like whoever it allows says yes, they're allowed to give the parlay, no one else. All right, so when it goes to the lamb in reverse, it is not a storm that comes in gently. Massive changes. So when I'm seeing the buffalo and I see them out in the west, you can't even believe when it's not coming in like a lamb, like a storm. This buffalo is a type of rage that only Native Americans have seen buffalo have. It's very odd behavior prior to a rage. It has an impish playish taking to it. It can be like the hyena when it is like riding its energy out. The sting of this is not even like a Scorpio or anything like that. It is so soft and unbeknownst. I can't even do enough of this. The mouse, it seems timid in reverse, but it's not. It is, this stone is not timid. It does not care. So when I'm looking at this, like this, the way this card is for the energy, it says cosmic egg, and it's a snake wrapped around a rainbow egg. So this is how it is, and it came out in reverse. This is kind of what we talked about in the show Ancient Aliens, where this is something beyond us about the stone also that is n- it, it some is like alien and some are like galactic, and I'm seeing universal past Milky Way energy around it. You can't even go for gold some days. You can't even. So I feel like it's showing me it's done a lot with this September full moon with the eclipse in Pisces and the harvest and the masculine energy and where it is such a freeze on things. It is such a protect that there's something else that we're not seeing, hearing, or feeling, but it's energy driven. I see like an opaque energy. It had said there was a lack of security in the current date and time that was causing ill justice. This energy was going to usher in something really nasty, and the stone went, nope, everyone do what you got to do at home in your daily lives. It's going to feel a little bit imprisoned for a while, almost into October. That's how strong that stone is. And when that feeling, oh, they're showing me in mediumship, like past the International Space Station, that energy field is so grounded to where it makes its mark. And when I'm looking at these pictures, I'm seeing like I could see almost a disrupt in a volcano. It's like natural disaster because I keep hearing tornado and all of that. It can't even be a struggle. Don't struggle. Don't fight it. As soon as you get an inkling to do something, you have to do it. You have to do it right then. It's giving you windows of opportunity for good luck. It really is. And it is showing me that there was a lot of recklessness that nobody could foresee. So let's look at the crystal quartz. All ghosts unbeknownst to thee. It was something so terroristic. And I hate saying that on the camera, but it was not a terrorist group. It was not anything of that. It was fear, a fear mongering. So it's kind of driving me right over to the Akashic cards. And I see right in the middle, which is not how it is, and it's Sangha community. It literally is this type of coven community, a close knit community that gave it all they got to be reborn, to be reborn. And this stone went no. And that is just an example of how powerful it can be. So just imagine what it's like in the Revolutionary War, where not even the angels could get the message through and they were caught in the ruins. So when I tie it back to when it came to land over by sea, you can't even D it. And when they said D it, it means you can't die. You can't die. You can't die. And everyone's like, what do you mean be reborn? What do you mean reincarnate? What do you mean be all these things that they talk about in the Bible? And I'm seeing revelations and I'm seeing how these moons all come through that you just can't understand it at all, at all. And I said, is this biblical? And I said, no, it's not quite biblical yet. Not quite biblical yet. So when I go to my Pleiadian oracle, you gotta just can't even believe what it will just do to even a small community, how quickly it can escalate through. So I'm seeing Song of Your Soul. I see people singing tunes as a distract. I see people like Lightning Boy. I'm seeing like there's some person or people, there's like young men, young boys who are such ready to like pop up and argue with you. They're really just drawn through this energy of ready to go, ready to go. And then when you look at Pascal's tomb, it's a burying of something. It really is. The stone is. So when you look at it mathematically, there's so many geometric states in it. When I'm seeing it, I'm seeing a lot of chemistry. I see a lot of physics, but I see a lot of statistical theory in it. I see a lot of healthcare. I see healthcare professionals do this around it. So that's why they're like, oh my God, I can't believe I found this. So when I'm seeing Alcyon, I'm seeing like a chain link, but I'm also seeing a type of chain link that goes unbeknownst, and I see the staff, and I hate to say it also, and the like all everyone in like mediumship, all these energies are like, it's like Moses, but it's not like Moses, and it's this and this. It's such an enigma. That's how you end up being. So you end up walking through and you see the stone and you're like, I'm just visiting. And by the end of the day, you're like, and I did this, and I did this, and I did great, and I got this accomplished, and I got this done, and I did. It is such a spurt of energy that sometimes they just can't get it out and they're stuttering. It really is. And then they literally go hunting. They literally go hunting. Like, no, I got this. I got this. I got this all. I'm ready. I'm good. I'm really good. Now, when I'm seeing this as rooted light, it's showing me an image of DNA with this whole phenomena. I'm seeing the double helix. I see a chain link DNA, which is a DNA CADALEA, which is really hard to explain, but it has to do with as a psychic, it has to do with sickle cell trait and sickle cell anemia. And when you look at how red blood cells are sickled on a pass down through generation, and you see that Egypt, Middle East, Sudan, and the stone was originating from that area, a lot of Africans have sickle cell trait. So when I'm seeing the stone, I see sickle cell trait is rooted light. And when they say rooted light, it's a type of chain. And so those who have sickle cell trait often don't always feel great right after, but then they have this odd phenomena of they're able to go to better elevations. So when I'm seeing Marope with it, I do see the Big Dipper. I do see the Little Dipper. Orion is very harsh with it when it aligns. Saturn and Jupiter are really harsh when it aligns with it. With the Great Pyramid of Giza, it's almost like a straight line block when they align. When you go about, you do your daily business in the middle, you just can't understand. All of them say right there, they're like, I just can't understand when they're in the Middle East. I just can't understand. That's all they say. And they're like, yep, I already know. I already know. I know what's coming. So all of a sudden, they're like doing head talk. They can look at each other and just know what each other is saying. And they're like, yeah, I understand. It's very playful and it like resets their vibration for a little while. So when I'm looking at the areas, I see stargazing. You you just don't when it's playing along. It's very playful at times. It activates gifts. It really does activate gifts. So that is why it's very sensitive to light, this stone. Highly sensitive to light. All right. So I'm gonna go to another deck. It's being drawn to a different deck. All right. So when I'm seeing skull, it doesn't mean death. It really doesn't. It's saying it's something out of this world. It's hard to describe, but I'm seeing it as healthcare and I'm seeing it hold the skull like Edgar Allan Poe and they become poetic. It's so bizarre to say that. That's something that I just don't understand right now why they become prophetic. But it has to do with lore. It has to do with lore. It sets in as this type of healing on criminals that stings. that makes it like people look who've been like positively gifted by this stone. They look at you and the lore comes out and it becomes a mockery of this criminal that like busts right now. It is such a giving relationship when this stone finds favor that you can't. It's funny. It's really, really funny. So with that being said, to close it out, because there's really not else to offer about this stone. It truly is meant to be one of those wonders when you look upon it in the museum that you're grateful that it's there. That's all it's supposed to be. It's all it's supposed to be right now. It says it calls in your support team. It brings in harmony and balance when it's supposed to. It's meant to open up doors. That was what it means by that birth is a portal. It reborn. It's reborn again. It really is. It activates all the knowledge that you already have, and that it really softens anger to more love. And then you literally have to relearn how to be yourself again after you encounter it. It does say all of a sudden they have a lot of boundaries, these people who encounter it, and that's all you need to know. And it changes them completely. So with that being said, that's all I have to say about part two of Rosetta Stone. I do say if you have any questions or concerns, email me or message me through Telegram. Other than that, donations are greatly accepted, and we will talk to you soon. Have a good night, and we'll talk to you.